Hi, my name is Melissa Doman of Melissa Doman Sleep Consulting, and I am a sleep coach for parents with kids with special needs. And my goal and my passion is to help parents like you get your child with special needs really sleeping well at night. Now, I have worked with kids with a number of different diagnoses. I've worked with children with autism, ADD, ADHD, Trisomy 21, cerebral palsy, and I'm here to teach parents that regardless of whatever your child's diagnosis is, that your child is capable of really getting a great night's sleep. And that's because what I focus on with my families is looking at sleep as a habit. And like any habit, it takes practice, it takes work to put anything new into place. So what I do is I teach you parents how to start making those habit changes so that your child can have a great night's sleep. And we all know that for kids with diagnoses like autism, like Trisomy 21, there's very little information out there about a really, truly holistic approach when it comes to sleep training these kids. And I think for a lot of families, the recommendations they find are for kids that are completely neurotypical. They do not have any sensory issues. They don't have mobility issues. And that's something that I'm here, again, to tell you and to teach parents that sleeplessness does not have to be the case for your child or for you and the rest of your family as well. So as a sleep coach, I teach parents what they can do at home with their kids with special needs to sleep great at night. And this goes over sleep hygiene, and it's a completely holistic approach. There's no medications, ideally no sleep aids either. This is just simple changes that parents can make. And the great news is that I give you the tools. You get to do the work and you get all the glory. You're the one who's getting your child really sleeping great at night. Now, as a sleep coach and a sleep consultant for kids with special needs, I have a background in child brain development, and I am also a Doman method coach. So for the last 10 years, I have been working with kids with special needs of a variety of different diagnoses to get them on a pathway to total wellness. And that's because with those therapy programs, we're focusing on the brain itself. We're not working on symptoms. And for a lot of kids with sleep issues, it's actually just because there's something going on in the brain that doesn't allow them to regulate just like every other kid. In addition to that, though, as I said, there are a lot of habits that kids get used to when it comes to their sleep. And for a lot of kids with special needs, it can be kind of difficult to figure out, well, is there something neurological going on? Is there something health related? Or is it just my child has poor habits around their sleep? And I find that if you take an approach where you kind of address all of those things in the best way possible, again, your child's sleep can greatly improve. So what I'm going to do is today I was going to give you lots of tips and lots of tools, but what I've decided is that for my YouTube page, I'm going to take my 7 tips, my foundation tips that I teach every family everywhere, and I'm going to break these up into little mini clips for you to watch. I know that for parents, we all have very busy lives to begin with, but for you parents, you're taking your kids from this therapy to that place, to this school, et cetera, and to have an hour to yourself to sit down and really learn what you can do to improve your child's sleep may be challenging. So I'm here to introduce actually just those 7 tips. I'll be rolling those clips out over the next couple days or so. And it's designed so that tops, you need 12 minutes at the computer to learn little by little, step by step, what you can do to get your child really sleeping great through the night. And this includes tips with regards to habits around sleep, nutrition, physical activity, factoring in your child's sensory needs, because all of these things for a child like yours they need to be working in sync with each other to make sure that sleep is absolutely the best it can be. Now, like I said, I'll be rolling those tips out over the next couple days, but I do want to go over with you, for those of you who did tune in live with me today, I do want to go over why sleep is so important. I've told you multiple times now that I have all the tips you need to get your child really sleeping well, but you may be asking yourself, okay, well, why is sleep so important for my child? And I'm going to explain that to you now. So sleep is a vital process for brain growth and development. And the issue is that not many people look at sleep when it comes to child development. But there's actually a lot of amazing things that are happening in the background when you go to sleep at night. So when you go to sleep, your body goes through a certain rhythm and a certain pattern where you go through multiple different sleep cycles as soon as your head hits the pillow until the time that you wake up in the morning. And those sleep cycles, depending on how old you are and how much sleep you get, you may go through that 5, 6, 7 times a night. And during that time and during a sleep cycle, there are multiple different things happening. So in a sleep cycle, there are 5 steps that your body goes through before the cycle resets. So you have different stages of sleep. So you have stage 1 and stage 2 sleep, which is a little bit of a lighter sleep. If somebody were to shake you awake at that point, you'd be aware you were trying to sleep. You'd probably not be very happy somebody just woke you up, but you were trying to make that journey. Now, after stage 1 and stage 2 sleep, that's where the real symphony of brain growth and development is happening. So in stage 3 and stage 4 sleep, the brain is taking information learned that day. It's taking it from temporary storage, so you have to think of it kind of like a USB key, and it's moving everything that you learned that day to the cortex, which is the main part of the brain. And during that time, the brain is figuring out, okay, what's the important information that we learned today, and what's the not so important information? And it's literally just organizing things. It's putting it not only into permanent storage, but it's putting that information in the right place as well. Now, in addition to that, during the daytime, of course, our brains need to be open to learning new information. And for children, this is even more significant. Those first 6 years of life are crucial when it comes to brain growth and development. And the bulk of your learning for life happens in those first 6 years. So what happens is during the daytime, as you take in more information and as you learn more things, the neural network has to compensate for that. So what it does is the little branches between each and every brain cell, they get bigger, they expand, so they can take in more information more consistently and easily. So during the day, you have that expansion of the synapses between those brain cells, those little branches, okay? But when you sleep at night, those branches compress and they get stronger and they get stronger. So they expand and work to take in information during the day. They compress and they get stronger at night. And you have to almost think of it kind of like the cables on a bridge. You see that they're really thick and they're very tightly wound, but there are little fibers that go all the way through it. And that's what the synapse does. So it holds the neural network up. It makes your brain cells stronger and they function better. And that's what happens during that stage 3 and stage 4 sleep. Now, I mentioned that there were 5 stages of sleep, and I've only gone over 4. So that 5th and final stage is called rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep. Now, there's still a lot of mystery behind REM sleep. We're still trying to figure out why it is that we dream during that time, why our bodies need it. But one of the things that does happen during REM sleep is that the brain is actually doing spring cleaning. So at that point, you've moved all the memories to the major part of the cortex. It's starting to organize things. REM sleep is your time to go around and dust and clean. So what happens is that the brain actually goes through and it cleans up the little synapses and brain cells that maybe aren't working as well as they should. And it helps to improve the function of the new synapses, of the new brain cells, or the cells that are already there. It helps to improve their function. So that spring and cleaning is really important as well when it comes to brain growth and development. So in conclusion, sleep, when it comes to a child's brain growth, is really important. It's a time to organize. It's a time to clean up. It's a time to restore. And for your child with special needs, their brain needs to be functioning at the most optimal level possible. It's key. So in addition to that, sleep is also really important for a number of other reasons. It's a time for your child's body to produce growth hormones. During sleep is a time where our body is regulating hormones. And actually, for a lot of kids with special needs, they're much smaller. They don't weigh as much as other kids. So the more sleep that they get, the better chance they have of actual physical growth. There's a reason why many athletes will sleep 8, 10, 12 hours in a 24-hour cycle. And that's just because their bodies are naturally producing growth hormones. So to get enough sleep is really important in that case as well. And for a lot of kids with special needs, again, I've worked with families for nearly a decade now, and I know firsthand that kids with special needs get sick a lot more frequently and a lot easier than the average child. So it's important that your child is getting enough sleep at night, because guess what? That's going to help boost their immunity and keep them healthier. Finally, there are some other minor benefits to a good night's rest. So obviously for your child, if they're cranky, if they're tired, if they don't have, they tend to have temper tantrums a lot easier. If they're sleeping better, chances are that's going to happen less. And for a lot of kids with special needs, your child included, they may have some difficulty with feeding and things like that. And a lot of parents who have worked with me will say that if their child is sleeping better, the quality of their feeds are better as well. I'm not saying a good night's sleep will help with picky eating. That's a different thing. But if your child has a hard time chewing, swallowing, things like that, making sure that they're well rested, it's going to make their job a lot easier as well. So now you know why sleep is so important for your child. But the unfortunate truth is that for your kids and for kids with special needs, sleep deprivation is a chronic problem. The American CDC just said that sleep deprivation was a health hazard for us Americans. We are chronically not getting enough rest. And the unfortunate truth is that people without any kind of brain injury or diagnosis, they're sleeping poorly, but because of your child's additional needs, chances are they're not sleeping great either. You can read the statistics anywhere. Almost 80% of kids with autism have sleep problems. 60% of children with Trisomy 21. And these problems are in addition to already not getting the amount of sleep that they need. And that's what I'm here to teach you. I'm here to teach you that it doesn't have to be that way. And chances are, if your child's not sleeping great, you're not sleeping great. And as your child's primary caretaker, therapist, you're taking care of everything that your child needs. Your sleep and your rest is also very important. So again, those 7 tips that I'm going to be posting over the next couple days, that's going to give you step-by-step practical instructions in order to start getting your child sleeping better through the night. Now, once you've gone through those 7 tips, you've started to implement them. If you still have questions for me, please contact me. I'll be posting my contact information here on this video and in all of my other videos, and I would love to hear from you. I want to make sure that you and your child are really getting the best night's sleep possible. And if you've been implementing the tips that I'm going to offer and it's still not happening, you're still struggling, you're not sure what's going on, contact me and I'll do my best to help you. Now, for the families that have worked with me, and I hope that some of you are out there tuning in, and I want to say hello. But for those of you who have worked with me, you know how important it is to have somebody there guiding you every step of the way when it comes to implementing changes. And that's the thing. That's the most important thing. Change is hard to do, but once you've made the changes, your child can make significant progress when it comes to their sleep. And I think that a lot of parents that I talk to, they know what they have to do inherently, but it's just they don't know where to start. And because they have a child with other needs as well, they're not sure, well, is that bedtime routine really going to work for my child? Is that early bedtime really going to work? That's what other kids need. What does my child need? And that's what I'm here to answer. So for those families that I've worked with who've had really great sleep success, it's because they have somebody there every step of the way telling them what they have to do next, how to troubleshoot, and more importantly, to track the child's progress and to celebrate success when you have it. And again, I'm here to say that your child with special needs, they can sleep great through the night. They really can. And to have a coach there to tell you what you have to do and who is aware of what your child's needs are and can give you additional recommendations to make that sleep training program go great, that will help you on that pathway to success. So if you're tuning in and you are desperate, you are ready to get your child really sleeping well through the night, I'm going to be posting not only my contact information, but how you can book a call with me and talk to me about your child's sleep. I'd love to hear from you. I want to make sure that we are the right fit for each other. And I will help you every step of the way in achieving the goals that you want to see with your child's sleep. And again, my sleep training programs, they incorporate not only what you have to do to instill good sleep habits and good sleep hygiene, but it goes over physical activity, nutritional changes, sensory things that your child might need in order to make the sleep training process the most successful for everybody in the family. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is please subscribe to Melissa Doman Sleep Consulting on YouTube. That way you can get the videos as they roll out. And again, I'd love to hear from you. I want to know what questions you have, but also when you start to implement those changes at home, tell me what success you have. Let me know how your child's sleep is changing. And my goal, again, is to give you the tips that you need and the guidance you need to get started on a great night's sleep for the whole family. So I look forward to hearing from you. And again, don't forget to subscribe and to get those 7 tips starting today. Take care and rest well.